If you've been living in Dubai lately and you feel like your wallet is getting lighter every month, you're not imagining it. Costs have gone up almost everywhere. From Salik gates popping up in new locations, to parking charges that used to be a single dirham, to fresh corporate tax rules, it feels like every aspect of daily life is more expensive in 2025. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly why these increases are happening, what they mean for you, and what might be coming next, like the potential for income tax now that Oman has announced theirs. Whether you've lived here for years or you're thinking about moving, this is the information you need to know. But before we get into the details, do me a quick favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you find these honest, Dubai-focused money videos helpful. I put out new videos every single week about the reality of living, working, and managing your finances here, and subscribing is the best way to stay informed without the sugarcoating. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, let's walk through all the big changes that are squeezing residents in 2025 one by one. Let's start with Salik, because honestly, this is the one everyone's been complaining about. Back in the day, Salik was pretty straightforward. A few gates on Sheikh Zayed Road and Al Qarhoud Bridge, as well as Mamzar, where you pay 4 dirhams per crossing. No surprises. But over the past couple of years, RTA has expanded the network significantly. In 2024 and early 2025, we saw additional Solic gates installed on Sheikh Zayed Road and Al Khail Road, which used to be the Solic-free alternative for a lot of drivers. Now, if you're commuting between Old Dubai and the Marina or heading into Business Bay, it's nearly impossible to avoid a toll. And it's not just more gates, the charges themselves have changed. Solic revised its road tolls in January, increasing fees from a flat 4 dirhams to 6 dirhams during busy periods. From Monday to Saturday, peak rates apply from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Off-peak charges between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. and from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. remain at 4 dirhams. To be honest, I'm completely confused by that. So if you're commuting daily during rush hour, you could easily be paying 600 to 1,000 dirhams a month on Solic alone. So why is this happening? A few reasons. Dubai's population has exploded past 3.5 million residents. Congestion is back to pre-COVID levels and even worse, and RTA says expanding tolls manages traffic. But let's be honest, it's also a major revenue stream for the city and RTA itself. Next up, parking fees. You probably noticed that parking at Mall of the Emirates used to be completely free if you stayed under a certain number of hours, like 0 to 4 hours. In 2024, they launched a paid parking system similar to Dubai Mall. Now you have ticketless entrance and a system where you pay an immediate 3 dirhams if you're just passing through and exiting without parking. That alone has surprised a lot of people. Now, if you do park, the first 4 hours are free and then you'll be charged 20 dirhams for every additional hour after that. So if you spend the afternoon shopping or catch a movie and end up staying 5 or 6 hours, you'll be paying 20 to 40 dirhams just for the parking. The logic from Majid Al Futtaim is that it's meant to reduce long-term parking abuse. People leaving their cars all day and commuting elsewhere because it's close to the metro. But in practice, it's another expense on your daily life, but I also can't blame Majid Al Futtaim. Even if you just want to pop into Carrefour or grab coffee, you'll end up paying unless you exit quickly. Dubai Mall made changes too. But let's be clear, because a lot of rumors have been flying around. Contrary to what people think, there is no Solic gate on the main approaches into Dubai Mall. You don't pay a toll just to enter or pass through. However, parking charges have been implemented through Solic. The first 4 hours are free, but after that, you also start paying. So if you're hanging around for dinner and shopping, you'll likely get charged once you cross that 4-hour limit. These are small costs that add up. 4 dirhams here, 4 dirhams there, 4 dirhams there, especially if you're regularly visiting malls with your family. Now let's talk about general parking costs. Parking rates in city zones have also increased. Back in 2020, you could find hourly parking for 2 to 4 dirhams in most areas. Now popular zones like JBR, downtown, and parts of Business Bay have rates up to 10 dirhams an hour. Even suburban areas have seen increases. Part of this inflation and part of it is encouraging more use of public transport. But there's no question it's making it harder for people to live here affordably with their cars, especially if you're self-employed or visiting clients all day. Then there's the big one, corporate tax. From mid-2023, the UAE started enforcing a 9% corporate tax on business profits above a set profit threshold. For employees, you might think this doesn't matter, but it does. Many small business owners and freelancers or corporate offices now have to pass on higher costs to clients. If you're contracting or billing through your own license, you're paying that 9%. Even companies that absorb it still have tighter budgets. That can mean lower salary increases, reduced bonuses, or less generous allowances over time. The UAE brought in corporate tax as part of aligning with international standards, mainly the OECD's minimum tax framework. Basically, they don't want to be seen as a tax haven and they want to avoid blacklisting from trading partners. On to the next category. This is a question everyone's whispering about. Is the UAE going to introduce personal income tax? Now that Oman has officially announced they'll start collecting income tax on high earners from 2028, the conversation is heating up here as well. While there's no official policy yet, here's why people are nervous. First, introducing corporate tax was unthinkable 10 years ago, and it's here now. Second, as Dubai continues to develop their infrastructure, they need consistent revenue streams. Third, regional neighbors are already setting the precedent. It may not happen tomorrow, but if you look at the regional trend, Saudi introducing 10% VAT, Oman introducing income tax, Dubai may eventually follow suit with income tax as well. Now let's talk about some other expenses people don't always realize are creeping up. School fees have continued to rise. KHDA approved annual increases to keep up with the inflation and quality improvements. So even if you've been in the same school for years, your tuition is likely gone up by 3 to 5% in 2025. Groceries have also gotten more expensive, especially fresh produce and dairy as import costs stay high. Even Etisalat and Du internet packages have quietly raised rates over the past year. Healthcare insurance premiums have also increased. If your employer doesn't cover a good policy, you'll pay more for the same coverage in 2025 compared to 2023. So when you put it all together, Salik, parking, schooling, corporate tax, and lifestyle costs, it's no wonder people are feeling squeezed. So here's an important question. Let's take a step back. Why is all this happening? Dubai is transitioning into a more mature economy. The low tax, low cost model that built the city's reputation is evolving, partly because the population has grown, and partly because the government wants to diversify revenue, and partly because it's aligning with global economic standards, so they can keep trade relationships strong and avoid scrutiny from international regulators. In short, Dubai isn't a scrappy startup city anymore. It's a global hub, and the cost of living is catching up to that reputation and the standard. So here's my personal take. Look, I love living here, as you all may know. I genuinely think Dubai is one of the most exciting places in the world to build a career and enjoy life. But we have to be honest, the affordability that brought many of us here is shifting and is almost becoming obsolete. I'm not saying it's impossible to live nicely here. You can still budget smart, choose neighborhoods wisely, and control discretionary spending. But you can't bury your head in the sand anymore. Personally, I'm focusing more than ever on tracking my costs, keeping an eye on tax changes, and planning ahead. Because if income tax does arrive, you don't want to be caught off guard. You need to be ready for that, and you need to be ready now rather than tomorrow. With that being said, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want exclusive content like budgeting tools, tax planning guides, and deeper dives into the realities of life here in Dubai, click the join button and be a part of my members only community here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay informed, stay smart, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.